Hi, welcome to A1 Today I'm again working on my 2017 CC CB Performance Builder's Choice engine kit, and I have recently just sorted out the oil lines on the full flow setup, and at last I am ready to bolt up the rest of the exhaust. I'm not going to bolt the muffler up because it's going to be easier to get the engine in the vehicle with the muffler off. So I'm just going to build up the rest of it and then we'll mock the muffler up. So I'm pretty super excited about this. Been waiting a while for this, so let's get into it. So this is the muffler. It's a A1 Sidewinder muffler. Sits on the vehicle like that. It's pretty nicely made. Welds are pretty good. It did come, I think I mentioned this in one of my other posts, it did come and it's got a ding in it. This is a show car, or wasn't just my everyday bus, I would definitely be sending that back. So the heater boxes are already on, and we just need to install the rest of the header system. So there's a whole bunch of header stuff to go on, and that's the biggest piece, and these slide in. And what I'm going to do is because I don't want them to seize up in case I ever need to take it off, I'm going to put a little bit of copper slip or copper grease on those joints just so they don't seize up, and we can take it apart if we need, and hopefully we won't need to. I've made my own gaskets. So the slightly smaller gasket goes on the head, and the slightly bigger gaskets connect the heater boxes to the rest of the header. So the first job is to cover these in some sealant. I mean, you can fit exhausts without any sealant, but I want to make sure there's no leaks, so it runs nice and smooth. So we'll be using some sealant on it. So a couple of days have passed since I filmed a bit just before this, because I went to get my sealer and it was all dried up. So I had to wait a few days for a new sealer to turn up. I can't buy this in any of my local car auto factor shops. It's quite a specialist sealer. It's called Ultra Copper, another Permatex product, and it is a gasket maker for exhausts. So it's specifically made for use on exhaust systems. If you use regular sealer on exhaust, it will just burn off and cause more problems than anything. It runs from -65 degrees Fahrenheit to 700 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 371 degrees C, and it's sensor safe. Not that we've got any sensors on this this vehicle, so we'll be using this to goob up our goob. Is that even a word? I don't think that's a word. To do our gaskets. So I'll get this stuff on the gaskets, and then we'll get into bolting up the exhaust. Got silicone on the gaskets. Before we bolt the header up with the gaskets on the heads, just want to make sure that these slip joints don't seize up over time. So I'm just going to put in some copper grease or copper slip, whatever you call it, two different names here, just to make sure, just on the insides. So I'm just putting it on the insides. Of the 4-into-1. It's got a name, can't remember what they call it. Header. Part of the header. There we go. And then we can roughly assemble header. This just goes in here.
She's my own cat.
Is she?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Flash.
Flash. There we go.
Oh, why did I?
Sorry about the interruption. It's a 5-year-old fan. Right, we'll bolt this on now. Goopy, that's the word, goopy. Goopy gaskets. ultra copper. I'll tease those on, you don't want to tear. So we're not going to worry about these gaskets at the moment, we're just going to try and get this on. There you go, stays on its own. So that was a bit of a faff getting the that nut on there. Now it's a good idea to keep everything a little bit loose at the moment, and we're going to try. You can see this is not lining up very well. Not lining up at all, actually. Which is weird because we did have this on before. Yeah, so might need a bit of persuasion. So the flanges on both sides are not lining up. So I think what I'm going to have to do is loosen off the heater boxes, which is a little bit annoying because I've already cut gaskets for those and they're already sealed and they're already tightened up. So I'm going to have to once again remove those heater boxes, make some new gaskets, and possibly, I don't know, I'm going to try one last trick. I'll try a screwdriver in there actually. See if I can see if these holes will line up, because they're ways off. I can't even get a screwdriver across between those. If in doubt, whack it. So just to test, loosen that off. Take these screws out around the bottom. There we go. That's going to do the trick. Can we get the other side to line up? Other side's going to line up, that coming off. So we'll get the bolts in on those. So we're just using the bolts supplied. Yeah, they go on just. So yeah, that's a mistake on my part. Shouldn't have bolted down those heater boxes already. So I'm going to take them both off. I'm going to make some gaskets and I'm going to goop them up, and I'll get back to you when I've done that. And hopefully this stuff won't have gone off and I won't have to make 6 new ones. So I'm going to have to work fast. Ah, dang it. I went as quick as I could, but these have gone off now. It says form a gasket in 90 minutes. I mean, that's to totally cure, but they've gone off too much now. So I'm going to have to make a new set of these and a new set of the header ones, and then clean off all the stuff from here. So we've got the gaskets cut out. I've just put the sealant on them. I'm gonna have to work super quickly because we've just learned, well, I've just learned how quickly this sealant goes off. So let's get to it. So doing the heater box gaskets again. Still really sticky. Sign. Got to get the whole thing bolted up, tightened up before they go off. These fixtures, I assume, what the hardware came with, have washers either side of these nuts and bolts. Yeah, in the perfect length. Very tight. This one's very tight against the pipe. So got those on finger tight. Right. Stop tightening these up. You can't get a box wrench on these nuts. So these are just down snug now. Side to go. So everything is down snug, and I just need to go through now and tighten it all up. Yep, and the CV is still soft. It is all up, it's squeezing out, going all over the place. So we'll clean it up at the end, even though I'm cleaning it up now because I'm such an anal idiot. Right, let's tighten it all up. Where should we start? Start here. Very annoying you can't get a box on there. Might be able to get a socket on these ones, but we're not trying to move in, do we? These bottom ones are the worst. Get the spanner on. Right, that one's done. This one is almost impossible to get into. Back here, these are on the top here. That's all the head nuts done. Next, we will do the header bolts. Again, the box wrench won't fit. Yes, that's good. Got CV sponging out of it. That's not going anywhere. This is going to be tricky. funny how you have favourite spanners to do jobs. I had to swap those over. That's firmly on. Right, now we will do a little bit of a clean up wherever we see silicone. Yeah, it's still just about tacky. I mean, I don't believe I could have done that much quicker, and I think I've got there just in the nick of time to get it all on before the silicone goes off. So I mean, in an ideal world, A1 performance exhausts would have supplied the cross style, all those nice sort of like metal looking gaskets you get, which don't require sealant. I have another exhaust to fit on my Crasser motor, Sebring exhaust, which I bought from Vintage Speed, and that came with some really nice thick squash type, squashed a little bit gaskets. Doesn't require sealant. That's going to be easy to bolt on. You just line it all up and you can take your time rather than having to run around. I mean, I could have bought gaskets like that, but I've got gasket paper, and I use that sealant all the time, that high temperature sealant, so I needed to buy some more of that anyway, so that works really well. Right, next job is we are going to pop on the muffler just to line it up and see how the bracket lines up with the bracket they've put on the heating box. I'll show you what about that in a minute. So let's get the muffler out. So now I need to fit the muffler, which I've not actually done before. I've mocked up the rest of it, but I've not actually fitted the muffler before. So the first thing I've done is it comes with like a bracket, which I've connected to the heater box, and then I'm going to try and hang the muffler off of that first. The bracket attaches to this, you assume. So this is going to be fun, trying to get this on. Sort of like need a friend to help you, I think. Yeah. Let's try balancing it in there. Oh. Tell you what, I do it like this. There we go. It's sort of just loosely attached. There we go. It's going to go on. The muffler is very close to the heater box back here. So there we go. So it comes with I've never used one of these before. It comes with one of these really fancy looking stainless steel clips, which attaches the muffler, and it's just, you just sort of like squash it together by hand, and then you tighten it up. It's a 11mm nut, which is handy. So we'll try and get this on. Get it. Put that all the way up. Actually want to put it the other way up. I had it the right way up to start with. It looks like that when it's on the motor, which is pretty fancy pants. So we'll try tightening that down. There we go. Now, with that done, and that's nice, there's now, you can see there's a lot of clearance. I can get my finger in between the heater box and the muffler, which is good. Now we know where this bracket can be tightened up to. And that's going to be hard to get to. That bolt there is going to be hard to get to once the vehicle's in the car. So I'm going to tighten that one up now. And obviously this one, you know, like once it's in the vehicle, we'll tighten it up. That's going to be hard to get to as well. So that's it. Muffler installed. So that's the muffler installed, but the work's not done there. Now I'm going to, with the muffler on, and obviously all the exhaust on, I'm going to fit the rest of the tins, and I'm going to fit the fresh air hoses, which are a super tight fit. Hopefully we can get those on looking reasonably nice. And then when that's done, it's ready to be installed. So all the tins are on, they look really nice. Fresh air hose, just push fit onto the fan, comes down, and then I've got these like rubber gaskets to stop any hot air coming up from the exhaust into the engine bay and going back into the fan. Then underneath there's a bit of a ding in this one to get it around the outlet from number 4, and then it's attached to the heater box, just stretched a little bit, popped over, and then I'm making sure it doesn't pop off with a black stainless Jubilee clip. Same on the other side. So just push on to the fan, comes out, goes down through the tin, but you'll see, well, you can't really see actually, it's hard to see. You can't really, actually you can't see it, so it's quite well hidden. There's a ding in the pipe to get around the oil filler. And even more of a ding here to get around there, to get around the exhaust system. It had to be that deep so that I had room to bend it and push it on and then button it down with Jubilee clip. This side was really tricky. I thought the other side was going to be worse. And somewhere in there you can see the moustache bar is back on. Now with the exhaust in place, the moustache bar is kind of hard to fit. I should have just left the moustache bar on. So that's what it's going to look like in the engine bay. The only thing left to do on the front here is give it a clean, get rid of all my nasty fingerprints, and then I've got an accelerator roller, and I've made a fastening point for it there that just slides in, screws down, so that when the accelerator cable comes out, it's coming out at a slight angle from straight, so I don't want it to rub against here. So it's got one of those roller thingies just to I'll put a little bit of grease on there, and that will prolong the life of the accelerator cable and make the linkage a little bit smoother to use. So all in all, I'm really happy with the way it's turned out. It's looking good. Obviously the proof is in the pudding. How is it going to be when I try and fire it up? How is it going to run? Had some comments from you guys saying that this motor going in a bus is going to result in sluggish performance at low revs. That would be a disaster. Who wants to drive a bus which is sluggish? It's already sluggish. I mean, it can't be more sluggish than it is already. It just can't be. And I'm putting a three-way flyer box in, so that's not going to help. We'll see. As I say, the proof's in the pudding, so we'll see if it works, and we'll also see if it's got any oil leaks. So, I mean, I'm really tempted to fire it up on the engine stand, but I'm not doing that. I probably should. I don't want to for lots of different reasons that I'm not going to go into now. But all in all, I'm really happy with the way it's turned out. It looks good. I mean, it looks like a nice and minimal motor, and I'm really happy with it. No, thanks for watching.